The Hi, once again ni mimi ule kijana, lazima tuko na swali moja mbili tupata majibu from our lady anaitwa Tracy. Now welcome.
Hi, I'm Tracy.
So Tracy, do you love Jesus?
Yes, I do. Of course I do. I love Jesus.
And how can you prove you love Jesus?
By my actions. Yes.
Your action,
Yes, my actions.
Like
Like like I sacrifice my time. Like I'm a student, so I have to work hard. Like we are in the period of exams, so I have to work hard. So I have to sacrifice my time and go and try and worship. By the way, I'm in the praise and worship team, so I have to make the mass awesome. So I take my time, go practice, and then lead in worship. So I love Jesus.
That's
I cannot
how-
do that if I hate Jesus.
all right.
Yes.
In John verse 11 verse 14 it says, if you love me, keep my commandments. You know that verse,
Yes.
So then again in Matthew verse I think 19:21 it says, if you can, to be perfect in to Jesus, you have to sell everything and give the money to the poor. Can you really do that?
It's hard. I'm a Kikuyu, by the way.
You are
It's
Kikuyu.
hard, but because I love Jesus, I can. But partially, I can not give everything. I'll give partially.
So you sell like kidogo kidogo,
Yes,
then
kidogo kidogo, then I demand you. See, I can be able. The word of God requires money.
Mm.
It says yenda.
Mm.
It says yenda migu.
Alright.
Yes.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hello once again. Ni mimi ule msee. Tulize swali, tupate majibu, tujue kama watu wanakuwa serious na hii mambo, yeah? Alright. From our lady here. Karibu. What's your name?
Okay, I'm Mercy.
You're Mercy.
Yeah.
Right. So Mercy, I have a question.
Yes.
Do you love Jesus?
Yeah, I do.
You do? So how can you prove that you love Jesus?
By reading my Bible, praying most of the time, and going to church.
Right. Then in John verse 11, verse 14 to 15 it says, if you love me, keep my commandment.
Yeah.
Then Matthew 19:21 it says, if you to be perfect in the eyes of Jesus, you have to sell everything you have, then you give the money to the poor. So now I ask you, can you sell everything that you have and give the money to the poor?
No, I can't.
You can't. Right. That's the answer. So kila mtu ana maoni yake. Thank you. Hello, I have just one question for you, and we're gonna have an answer from our lady here, Grace.
Hello.
So, do you love Jesus?
Yes, I love Jesus.
How can
very
you
much.
prove you love Jesus? Yes, how can you prove you love Jesus?
How can I prove that I love Jesus?
Yes.
By just living my life honoring Him. Yes, and recognizing Him in my life because He has done so much for me.
Okay, but there's a verse in the Bible inasema, if you love me, keep my commandment. You know that verse?
Yes.
Then Jesus said, if can you sell everything that you have to give to the poor, and is it possible for you? That's showing that you love Christ. Can you sell like everything, then you give the money to the poor? Can you do that?
Honestly, yes.
You want friends and neighbors, welcome again ile time ule kijana ule msee. Now today we're gonna learn how of the things that are so difficult for Christians to do, but they should be doing, or if they do, in a range of 0 to 10, I'll give them, say, 1% are doing it. Cannot say none is doing, but if they are doing it, it's very little. So have you ever wondered if these things that Christ said we should do, if they should be the ones that be the gate, should be the pass ticket to the gate of heaven? Will you? We cannot exhaust them all, but we're gonna try and see a few. So for an instance, we're gonna start with Mark 21 verse 13. The story about that, love your neighbor as you love yourself completely. That the way you love loving your neighbors as you love yourself. Can you say 1 to 1, not 1 to half? Can you love your neighbor? Do you love your neighbor the same staying hungry. You stay hungry to give to your neighbors because you love your neighbor as you love yourself. You equate it. You are one in the same. Like this hand is equal to this hand. So can you do that? Or do you do that? Can you give your car to your neighbor and you go by legs? Pretty hard, but it's possible. It's not a big deal, though it is hard. That's the other one is Matthew 19:21. I love this one. This is very difficult for them to do. You can say me too, but at least we try. So the story about selling Jesus telling the questioner to sell everything like everything they have and give the money to the poor and come and follow him. So that's very difficult. You sell like everything from clothes, everything, leaving nothing. The word everything, it means you are left with nothing. That's not all. You give the money not to your friends, not to your family, but to the poor. The poor, they cannot help you back immediately, you can say that, but maybe in future. But you give the money to the poor. You're left with nothing. You sell everything you have. You give the money to the poor. You stay. That means you're gonna stay out. You're gonna go hungry, but it doesn't matter. You have sold everything as Jesus said. Now that is very hard. Do you do that one? Can you do that one? Selling everything you have, then give the money to the poor. But maybe in future. But you give the money to the poor. You're left with nothing. You sell everything you have. You give the money to the poor. You stay. That means you're gonna stay out. You're gonna go hungry, but it doesn't matter. You have sold everything as Jesus said. Now that is very hard. Do you do that one? Can you do that one? Selling everything you have, then give the money to the poor. Pass. The other one is Luke 6:27. Doing good to those that hate you. If someone hates you, it's very difficult for you to do good to them. They hate you, so how you hate me? Can't be serious. You hate me, then that's hard, but it's not impossible. So those who hate you, do you go to that extent of doing them good? They hate you, yes, but do you do good to them? They speak ill of you, they gossip about you, they give false information, rumors about you, but you still do good to them. For an instant, someone goes dirtifying your name, giving rumors, then at night she or he doesn't have supper. Then out of your goodness you provide for them with a very joy face, happy mood, the atmosphere being so friendly. You give them the supper, you provide for them. Allah. So I guarantee that's very hard. That one, it's very hard, but it's not impossible. This is another one Jesus said about Luke 6:29. So then slaps you one side, then you give the other. That's difficult. If someone slaps you, you cannot just this other side. It's difficult. So that's a bit difficult. But can you do that one? Do that one. If someone does wrong to you, say for example, he slaps you, do you go on revenging? If someone does you wrong, do you revenge, or you just keep quiet and even give the other side for you to be taken care of? So difficult, but it's not impossible. And since we cannot exist them, I will finalize with this about Mark 12:38. This is the story of a woman, of the widow, who did something that touched Jesus on his ministry. So this woman had only 2 coins, you can say 2 shillings. in Kenya, shilingi moja mbili. So he gives them during the giving time. The others are coming with big money, big dollars, and big item, big gifts. But this woman gives only 2 coins, and she's left with nothing. She gives all and never complains. But Jesus is not touched with the others who give lump sum, gift and huge. This woman gives everything. The last 2 coins that she had. The story ends, we don't know if she had she will die, or she will eat those and die, and you know, it is a suspense. But what matters is that she gives what she gives to her limit, leaving herself bearable or vulnerable to anything. Do you do that? Can you do that in your offerings? Do you do that one in your tithes? Do you do that one? Can you? You give everything you have, leaving yourself vulnerable. That was the high